Now, Nigeria's Governors Forum have agreed with the proposal of the central bank for states to access 15 trillion naira for national infrastructure funding through INFRACREDIT at a lower interest rate of 5%. The chairman of the body of governors in Nigeria, Kayode Fayemi, says members also endorsed the proposal by the National Infrastructure Investment Fund under the auspices of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority to access a total sum of 2 trillion naira at 9% interest. Joining me now to look at this is our finance manager, Jane Obiora. Jane, good to have you join me on the news. It's evident that the governors are all on the same page, saying how they can move the country forward, more so that the nation is in recession. But does it make sense to, dip into the pensioners fund?
Hi, good morning. It doesn't. What the pension fund does is like a savings for when you retire. And so imagine that you're having to dip your hands into your savings for the future. So what happens when you spend it today? What happens about tomorrow? So it's a bad idea and very ill-advised. For me, another thing is there's a trust issue. So we have a case where governors are not able to even tell us what the monies that they have in their curfew or in their coffers, what they've used it for over a long period of time. So you're coming at us telling us, oh, you want to do a project of 20 billion, and then you cannot break down each stage to say, okay, this is what we have done, this is what we have done. Another challenge is that recently, I think it was on the news, about governors that had a lot of aides in their employ, as much as 6,000, as much as 400. This high cost of governance does not in any way help. So when we're talking about accessing pension fund, it is a very bad idea.
You know, again, one other aspect, because there is a body in Nigeria called SERAP, that's the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project. They're on the same page with you, saying it's a no-no to get into that. But again, knowing full well that there's some form of interest that will be accrued if this is ultimately done, how would it be, distributed? Maybe amongst the pensioners. Do you see that as a problem when it comes to having this interest that will be gotten from a fund that is for the pensioners?
I'm not particularly concerned about the interest, because these are pool of funds, and whatever that comes there, I'm sure the PFAs have a better way to manage these things. The challenge we have is the fact that we're not supposed to be talking about accessing pension funds. For Christ's sake, that's the fallback for any organization, for even employers or employees. What we have most times is a case where it's about spending. How about we look for alternative sources or means of generating revenue, so we do not have to go back to start falling back to pension. So for me, the interest, I'm sure the PFAs have a way they can do that. But my own is that they don't have any business accessing those funds, even if it's a loan.
So as a finance expert, what other means do you think the government would have been able to explore to get this funding, if not from the pensions fund?
Okay, well, you have the financial institutions there. I don't know why we have to access. If you want to look at governance, number one thing you need to look at is, as a state, do you want to run as an organization? So if I'm a CEO of an organization and I want to access funds, the first things that I will look at is to be sure of the exact amount that I need, what the project is for, what is coming to us. Do we want to explore PPP, private partner arrangement? These things are important. It's not just for me, just going out there to go and look for funds or accessing. So you must be able to build trust, number one. Then number two, the funds, there are banks that can do these transactions very well with the state. And I know some have done that. And one of the challenges have been with transition of power. For instance, a state governor stays 4 years, borrows money from XYZ bank, and then maybe he does not win his re-election, someone else comes in, and then starts having issues about repayment, saying, oh, we're not sure that these funds that were accessed were used to the good of, or for the good of the state. So these things are a huge challenge. So they should access. There are financial institutions whose job it is to give loans.
Well, Jane, many thanks for speaking with us on the news.
Thank you.